But what would you know beyond all the lies Achilles feeds you and the tales you tell yourself?
I know that the people wish to be free, and that men like Washington fight to make it so.
Please, the man is weak. He stumbles and stammers through each engagement, making it...
That is cannot. If you know something, it cannot continue. Just as soon as you know something, it just cannot continue. And that has to stop, because that is the problem with love today. That is the problem with love. So that has to stop. I want someone to love me because I know her and she knows me. Because I've in the last time evolved so much that if she's bored by knowing me, I can be a completely new person a while later. It is ridiculous to get rid of someone or get bored and then start looking somewhere else because you know someone or someone knows you. That is ridiculous. Can not continue. Oh, you can? Oh, you can. Well, not gonna continue because you can. Ken from Barbie cannot be with Barbie. Just cannot continue. And that has to stop. That's ridiculous. Women like mystery. They are so... they start to wonder about you because they don't know what you're doing, and that is when they miss you. That is ridiculous. Everything there is to know about the guy, that is what interested them, because when they know everything there is to know, they start to lose interest. Well, that has to stop. He can. Nah, no. If I know something, I don't want it. That is so ridiculous. Because if you know someone, you can start to add new things. If the goal is to just not know each other, then you are just only gonna keep things hidden, and you're not gonna become a new person anytime soon. You're just gonna be your bond is gonna be weaker and weaker, and you're gonna be bored at things. But if you know someone and you love someone because you know things, then now you can start to get... you can have new layers to your personality, and very quickly, because the other one so agrees with who you are and all this stuff. So this ki can na has to stop. It's ridiculous. The more you know someone, that's the more you should like someone, and the more you could fantasize about things you could see with them and stuff. So that is what I want my Barbie to be like, because I developed so much as a person, and developed a stupid computer word. What's the right word? Maybe it's... I've grown so much. 1 year ago me doesn't recognize today's me. So yeah, all these things has to stop. The more you like someone, the is because you know them more, and you can imagine more about you and him together. If you only like someone because you don't know him, there is no you and him together ever. It could only be fake if that would be the basis of your relationship. And that is so... yeah, it's better to love someone because you know them, so that you could then you could become excited about how it's gonna look further on. Otherwise, that wouldn't really exist. Then you would have to develop just this ego where you just look at only yourself. You only look in the mirror. So you're so obsessed with yourself that you just don't look at the other person. And so that's just so that you don't know him, so that you don't lose attraction. That is stupid. So if you just accept that knowing someone makes you like him more, and that you have to stop keeping things hidden from each other, that is when this whole curse is lifted. What I call it like that? Yeah, that's sort of. And I do not want love any other way, as in you know someone more, so you can tell everything to each other, and because you know them, you like them more. Because you can think about all day everything that you know, and you're not obsessed about being bored because you know things. That has to stop, because you can then build a whole world in your fantasy about you and him together. Actually, I want to say you and me together. That's what I want to say. Who is him? About you thinking about me all day, and I'm thinking about you all day, and we just don't get bored of it, of thinking about each other, because everything that we know. That is how I want my Barbie, and I don't want any other Barbie that doesn't think like that, that isn't on board with this.
Not who you was expecting, am I right?
What have we here? I thought we'd finished off your kind.
You would like that, wouldn't you? To rid the world of all who do not share.
There's also these other things, like Samuel Jackson saying, "Say what again? I dare you, double dare you." It's probably something to do with my father. I think saying what is probably one of the best things you can do. Oh, Samuel Jackson says, say what again? But what actually is a question. He's asking what. So Samuel Jackson saying, say what again? But life is treating it like Samuel Jackson, that what he said there is some kind of like rule you should follow in a certain circumstance. But he said it wrong as well. And when Charles here asked what question, all of this came to me. I just thought of it because he asked what. So if the world is just following a bunch of rules that doesn't mean anything, I just think it comes from my father or something. Because the movie came out when I was born, so I didn't have any influence on it. So, but all these things we say and follow, it doesn't make it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I wanted to title this video, and I wanted to ask, like, is the word what ridiculous, or that scene in Pulp Fiction? So I titled it like, is what ridiculous? But then I said like, hey, wait, that's wrong. You should say like, what is ridiculous? But the subject is not ridiculous or finding what is ridiculous. I'm asking if saying what again is ridiculous, but that is not the right grammatical expression. So this whole sentence in a Pulp Fiction movie, if you just try to talk about it, it's ridiculous. But then people see it as some kind of rule that you shouldn't forget, or that you shouldn't ask questions, or all these things. But every time, like when Charles just asked the what question, all this came to me. I just had to think about it. So then how do you write it down? Is what ridiculous? But then it's not a good grammatical sentence. So I'll just call it what.